Not Hardly Broken. Feels like we haven't seen you guys in a while, but we have been filming and we have been recording every week, but just felt like it has been a while. But we appreciate you guys looking out and sharing and liking our posts and everything. It's just really fun to interact and engage with you guys and hear some of the feedback about how helpful certain episodes were and the content and all of that. So definitely make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And always, you can definitely send us a comment in the email nothardlybroken@gmail.com. We definitely look through those emails and consider adding the questions or the content of the email to our content that we create. So we're glad again to be here with you. We thought we would talk a little bit about priorities. Now, we've talked a lot about all kinds of things, and some of it may sound a little similar at times, but it's a little different. Priorities, where that relates to in marriage is, you're two individuals who have lives individually, and then you have a life together. And a lot of things can happen to pull at you and pull at what you're doing and your attention. And sometimes the priorities or being able to prioritize one another kind of gets a little off balance. And so we thought we would talk a little bit about prioritizing your marriage above all things. One of the things about marriage is that it's the union of two people, and your growth track together is important to carve that and pave that way together and not individually. We can do things individually. When we were single, we were individual. When we were dating, we were individual. We're married and we're individual, but we don't want to live individually. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Separately.
Right.
Separately.
But you do want to keep your individuality.
Yeah.
Of who you are and what has brought you to this point. Because if you lose that, I believe that you lose yourself, as a person as well as in the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But you definitely don't want to lose yourself, but your priority needs to be about developing and growing your relationship.
Right.
Since you have taken each other off the market, you are each other's priority. So a whole lot of things, and we're probably going to do a part 1 and a part 2 because we have a few things we want to talk about with it. But a whole lot of things come to steal your time and try to steal your attention, namely work, namely children, family, obligations, your own interests, hobbies, and all kinds of things. And how do you try to figure out what to do, when you also have a spouse? And one of the things that I think we always need to do is make sure we check in.
Yeah.
We always check in to see what's on your schedule, what's on your calendar, what you got going on this weekend or next week or whatever. For me, I will schedule something after I check with Terrence and say, what you think about this? Especially if he's not present with me, I'll send him a quick text and say, okay, this is what such and such is trying to do. What you think about that? You got time? And I think the way that you operate is that you consider us before you even try to do other things.
Right.
And I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I do too. I consider that us is the focal point first, and then we'll see what else we could get into outside of that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I don't know if everybody operates like that. I just know that works for us. And I would encourage you to consider your spouse before you even divide your time in all kind of ways. I know that there are couples, and as I've told you, I'm a marriage and family therapist, so I counsel people, but I know that there are couples who, they don't even think about one another when they're putting their own calendars together. The spouse comes up to them and say, "Hey, you got such and such. You got time for this?" No, because I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go X, Y, Z, and all these different places, and that just seems foreign to me. I don't know if we're just an anomaly or what, but
well, sometimes that happens. I may make a plan on the weekend, or not the full weekend, maybe just a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon. I make plans to do something or hang out with a friend or something like that, and maybe forget to tell you or something like that, and you say you have something that you want us to do, and I'll be like, oh, I hadn't made plans, but for me, when it comes to my wife and my family, I will weigh the plans that I made versus what's on the table, and make a decision. And more times, 9 times out of 10, I'll make the decision to do whatever the family or my wife wants to do over what I had already made plans, because I can always reschedule with my friends. It's not a do or die type of thing that if I don't show up, that something bad is going to happen. It's just we were just going to hang out, and talk for an hour or two, and then so it's nothing a plan that's like etched in stone. I'm very flexible when it comes to that, and my first priority is always the family, always Takenia, and so and it's not a thing where you lose yourself or you lose your individuality by canceling those plans or always having to reschedule. It's just prioritizing and what's most important. Because I would feel bad if I canceled my plans with Kenya or the family or the children and went out for a couple hours and I missed something important, or I missed something that was a family building moment, or even a couple building moment. Those are precious and those are priceless, and those are things that you don't want to just throw away. And of course, you have years and years of history and years of marriage, and there'll be other moments and other times. But in this day and time and world that we live in, I think it's of the utmost importance to have those moments and those times with your family, teaching moments with your children, bonding moments with your wife, to further solidify for the next coming years. Because you can always get with your friends, and your friends should be friends that will understand that you can't always make those occasions.